Are you drowning in invoices, receipts, and financial spreadsheets? In today's episode, I will show you the 4-part automated system I use on my Mac to manage everything from invoicing to profit forecasting, saving me hours every single week. Stick around till the end to discover my personal step-by-step method for forecasting your business profits. So without further ado, let's discover the audio overview of episodes 92 through 95 generated by my 2 NotebookLM assistants.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and give you the essential knowledge you need fast. Today we're focusing on really actionable stuff, strategies pulled straight from Damien's insights in Macpreneur episodes 92 through 95. You can always check those out in full at macpreneur.com/episode, then the number. So if you're someone who wants to learn efficiently, get those aha moments without getting buried in info, well, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how Damien, just across those 4 episodes, lays out such a practical way for solopreneurs to really get a grip on their finances, using their Macs, using smart automation. What really strikes me isn't just the specific tools, those are useful, but the why behind it, why these methods work, and crucially, how you can start using them right away.
Okay, so let's dive into episode 92 first. That's automated invoicing heaven at macpreneur.com/episode 92. Damien kicks off talking about something I think we can all relate to: manual invoicing. The time it sucks up, the mistakes you can make, chasing payments. It's a drag, right?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of, I need to do invoices now. It really kills momentum sometimes. And the key takeaway Damien emphasizes is how web-based invoicing services are, like a genuine escape route. He really nails the main benefits. You get a much smoother workflow, those automatic reminders, which are huge, handling different currencies, getting paid online easily, getting your time back,
Right. And he doesn't just say use a service. He gives a good overview of some of the big players. There's FreshBooks, which he mentions is his favorite. Interesting story there. Started from a spreadsheet mistake back in 2003. Now it's this full accounting thing.
Yeah, over 500 employees now, apparently.
And there's Free Agent, UK-based, now owned by NatWest.
Yeah.
QuickBooks Online, obviously the Intuit giant.
Yeah, huge. And Zoho Invoice, which has that free option, though, with limits like 500 invoices a year, single currency, still an option.
That overview sets the stage well. But then in episode 92, he really zooms in on FreshBooks. He breaks down the features in a really practical way.
Exactly, like the templates, 3 professional ones you can customize. It sounds simple, but it makes you look polished instantly. And converting estimates to invoices directly, that cuts out a whole chunk of busy work.
Totally. And those little things he points out, like setting default payment terms or handling languages and currencies for each client, that stuff really adds up in streamlining things day to day.
And attaching the PDF automatically to the email. Simple, but effective. Clients just get it.
Plus the online payment setup. Stripe, PayPal, others, depending on location, makes getting paid faster.
And the reminders, up to 3, customizable, takes the awkwardness out of chasing payments. Plus, the mobile app for doing stuff on the go.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. But for me, this is where it gets really interesting, the automation side. Damien really stresses the integration with Zapier, his go-to automation tool.
Right. Zapier basically lets your different online apps talk to each other automatically.
And he gives great examples, like a new client gets added in his CRM, he uses Podio Boom, they automatically get created in FreshBooks.
Or when an invoice gets paid in FreshBooks, it automatically updates the sales status back in Podio. No more double entry.
Exactly. And FreshBooks has, over 70 Zapier triggers and actions? That's a lot of connection potential.
It really shows how your invoicing tool can become like the hub of your workflow, connecting to Etsy, Squarespace, Gmail, all sorts. Makes everything work together.
So Damien clearly recommends FreshBooks, especially the premium plan if you've got, say, more than 50 clients or want those custom email templates. And he offers that 30-day free trial, macpreneur.com/FreshBooks. Good way to test it out, no credit card needed. He mentions he gets a small commission. Full disclosure there.
And he does touch on security, which is crucial. Data encryption, physical security. FreshBooks has info on their site. Plus, email multi-factor authentication sounds like a good step for login security.
Yeah, good point. So summing up 92, moving from spreadsheets to a web-based system like FreshBooks. Easier management, online payments, auto reminders, and huge automation potential. Big upgrade.
Definitely. It's about reclaiming time and reducing errors.
Okay, let's shift gears to episode 93. Effortlessly organize supplier invoices. Macpreneur.com/episode 93. This time, it's about the invoices we get. Damien talks about how things moved from paper to digital, which is great, but boy, can it flood the inbox.
Yeah, and he breaks down handling them into two main steps, really. First, getting the invoice, ideally as a PDF. Second, filing it properly. He mentions the three common ways they arrive: PDF attachment, part of the email body, or just a link in the email. And notes that right now, automation works best for the first two.
Right. He does give a little nod to the future, maybe AI agents following those links someday, referencing episode 7 to 8 on AI. But for now, he says you need good email and file habits first. Foundational stuff.
Totally. Like having a specific mailbox for all invoice emails. He gives a good Gmail filter example, using OR for different supplier emails and searching subjects for invoice or receipt, and labeling it finances.
And having a dedicated folder in your cloud storage, Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever, synced to your Mac. Links back to episode 90 on document access. Got to have that structure first.
Exactly. Then the automation. He says PDF attachments are the easiest win, especially with Google Workspace or Microsoft 365 and Zapier. Simple zaps, new email in this mailbox with an attachment. Save that attachment to this specific Google Drive or OneDrive folder. Done.
Yeah, and you can mix and match Gmail to Dropbox, whatever.
And for other emails like iCloud Mail, he explains using IMAP with Zapier, including needing that app-specific password if you use two-factor authentication. Really practical detail there.
What about when the invoice is the email body? That's trickier.
Right. For Gmail, he suggests a paid Google Workspace add-on called Save Email and Attachments. Sounds like it can save the email body as a PDF to Google Drive, even into dynamic folders?
Yeah, for other email system.
He mentions an online service, pdf.co. They have a free tier. You can use it with Zapier via an API key to convert the email body into a PDF, then save that to your cloud storage. Requires a slightly more complex 3-step zap, but it's doable.
Or his clever workaround. Just forward those emails to a personal Gmail account to use the add-on. Smart.
Yeah, it shows he's thought through different scenarios.
Okay, so you've got the PDF. Now what? Filing it. He's big on Hazel for Mac users here. Calls it the best tool for renaming and filing. Covered a lot in season 2, especially episode 67.
The key thing with Hazel is it looks inside the PDF. It can grab the invoice number, the date, whatever info you need right from the document text.
Yeah, he gives that SaneBox invoice example. Hazel checks it's a PDF, finds the text pattern, pulls out the number and date, renames the file like datefactor SaneBox number.pdf, adds a tag, moves it to the right folder. Automatically.
That's the magic. Really smart filing, not just based on the file name. Total game changer for staying organized.
Of course, giving tools like Zapier access to email and cloud storage requires trust. Damien addresses security head-on.
Yeah, he points to Zapier's security page, mentions how many companies use them, their privacy compliance like US data frameworks, audits, but also notes they aren't HIPAA compliant, so no healthcare data. Important distinction.
He even shares his own Zapier usage and costs, which gives a nice real-world feel for it.
It's good he covers that. Automation is powerful, but you need to be mindful of the security implications.
So episode 93 gives you a full playbook for supplier invoices, automation with Zapier, or add-ons, smart filing with Hazel on the Mac. Powerful stuff.
Definitely. Okay, on to episode 94. Track your solopreneur expenses. Macpreneur.com/episode 94.
Here, Damien really hammers home why tracking all your expenses, variable and fixed, is so vital.
That story about his Podio pricing change, realizing 9 months later that the cost had gone up because his invoice automation was too good. That really illustrates the point, doesn't it? Costs can change without you noticing if you're not actively tracking.
Exactly. So he lays out 4 main ways to track: online accounting tools, specific invoice logging apps, spreadsheets, and budgeting software.
And his first bit of advice is super practical. Check your invoicing tool first. If you use FreshBooks, FreeAgent, or QuickBooks Online, they already have expense tracking built in. Might be the easiest route.
Right. And he digs into those features. FreshBooks, direct bank import, though with that 90-day limit, but CSV import works too. And the receipt scanning via the mobile app using Sensibill in certain countries. He gives the FreshBooks trial link again too.
For UK folks, the details on FreeAgent's open banking integration and smart receipt capture are really useful.
And QuickBooks Online, with his broad bank support and receipt scanning, is a solid option globally.
Okay, but what if your invoicing tool doesn't do expenses or you're not using one like that?
Then he explores alternatives, using the invoices themselves. Pros, tax info is there. Cons, got to collect them all, different formats. Or using bank statements. Pros, consistent format. You won't miss anything paid. Cons. No tax info usually, cryptic supplier names sometimes, only shows paid items.
Which leads Damien to recommend a specific Mac app if you want to go this route, Receipts.
Receipts, okay. What's special about it?
It's a native Mac app designed for logging expenses based on invoice PDFs or images. It does automatic scanning, tries to pull out the amount, date, merchant, tax info.
Oh, nice. Like Hazel, but specifically for expense data from invoices.
Kind of, yeah. You can import via drag and drop or set up watched folders, which means it works beautifully with Hazel. Hazel can file the invoice, and Receipts can watch that folder to import it.
Ooh, clever workflow.
It also integrates with the macOS print to PDF function and Apple Mail. It lets you track if invoices are paid or due, does approximate currency conversion, shows expense graphs.
Any downsides?
The main ones he mentioned are that it stores its own copy of the invoice in its database, which means duplication, and it's Mac only.
Okay. How do you get it?
There's a free trial for up to 50 invoices. You can buy it directly from the developer or on the Mac App Store. And crucially, it's also part of SetTap. And Damien reminds listeners about the extended 30-day SetTap trial at macpreneur.com/SetTap. So you could try Receipts and a bunch of other apps.
Okay, so using invoices directly, potentially with the Receipts app. What other alternative?
Another source is using your bank statements or online payment statements. And there's spreadsheets, Excel, Google Sheets, numbers.
Yeah, the old reliable. He outlines the process. Export CSVs from banks, import, use pivot tables for analysis, quick updates, good annual overview.
But downsides too. Manual categorization, takes time to set up, not great for tax details.
Yeah.
Decent starting point maybe if you like spreadsheets. Finally, budgeting software like Chronicle or YNA. Good for recurring stuff and forecasting.
But not really built for business taxes or VAT, often single currency. Might work if you already use one for personal finances, but he suggests upgrading later.
What I think is really important is his point about the accountant. Having one doesn't mean you don't need to watch your numbers.
Absolutely. His own monthly Excel tracking, actual versus forecast, income and expenses, history, goals. He urges listeners to build something similar for financial clarity. It's about knowing your business.
So episode 94 gives you a whole menu of options for expense tracking, depending on your tools and preferences. Very thorough.
Okay, last one in this batch. Episode 95, Transform Your Profit Forecasting. Macpreneur.com/episode 95. This tackles forecasting, which can feel pretty overwhelming, especially for service businesses without steady retainers.
Yeah, predicting income when it fluctuates can be tough. But Damien offers a concrete solution. His own Excel forecasting spreadsheet he uses for his business, Easy Tech.
And he shares it. Macpreneur.com/freebie95. Works in Google Sheets too, mostly. That's incredibly generous. The whole point is shifting from just reacting to proactively planning.
He walks through how it works. 2 main sheets, weekly tracking prediction and a monthly overview.
The weekly view is key. It helps you see your real capacity, factoring in prep time, follow-up, holidays, conferences, not just booked client hours.
Right. The table structure is detailed. 53 weeks across, rows for different income streams, even specific clients with different rates. You put in your approximate revenue per half day or unit for each stream.
And then just enter the number of booked half days or units each week. Simple input.
And his way of handling monthly commissions, like B&I renewals, just put the expected number in the first week of the month. Smart. Same idea could work for retainers or memberships.
He uses Excel's sum product function to automatically calculate the forecasted revenue for each week based on those inputs.
Yeah, basically multiplying the rate by the units for each row, then summing it all up for the week. That weekly forecast then feeds the monthly and quarterly totals.
And crucially, on the monthly sheet, he compares that forecast to his goals, his break-in point from expenses, his historical numbers for seasonality, and eventually the actual invoiced revenue. Lots of context.
That evolving yearly projection calculation is clever too. It uses a simple fraction how much of the year has passed to weight actual revenue versus forecasted revenue for the remaining months. Gives a more realistic rolling picture.
And he tracks actual revenue in detail too. Different consulting types, training, online stuff, updates it regularly, knowing where the money actually comes from.
Then he connects it all back to expenses from episode 94. On that monthly sheet, below the revenue forecast, he lists forecast expenses fixed monthly, fixed yearly, variable, salary.
Subtract expenses from revenue forecast, boom, approximate monthly profit projection.
And he has separate tables breaking down those expense categories further so you can see where the big costs are and potential cash flow issues.
He even gives a step-by-step guide to setting up the template for yourself. Update the start date, Put in your revenue streams and rates, start filling in booked sessions week by week, update actuals as they happen, populate your expense forecasts.
It makes it feel much less daunting. Update your goals, historical data, and you've got a powerful overview.
Yeah, episode 95 isn't just a template. It's a system for understanding your financial trajectory. Really valuable stuff he's sharing there.
Absolutely. Taken together, these 4 episodes give you a really solid toolkit for managing and automating key financial tasks as a Mac-based solopreneur.
Okay, so let's quickly wrap the key takeaways from Macpreneur episodes 92 to 95. You've got ways to streamline client invoicing with tools like FreshBooks and Zapier, save time, get paid faster.
You've learned how to automate organizing supplier invoices using Zapier, maybe add-ons or pdf.co, and definitely Hazel on your Mac for smart filing.
We looked at tracking expenses, whether through your accounting tool, a dedicated app like receipts, spreadsheets, or budgeting software, finding what fits you.
And finally, transforming your profit forecasting with Damien's Excel system, moving from guessing to actually projecting based on data.
Remember, all the details are at macpreneur.com/episode, followed by 92, 93, 94, or 95. And that forecasting template is at macpreneur.com/freebie95.
The underlying theme really is about taking control, moving from being reactive with your finances to being proactive, using the tools available, especially on your Mac.
So here's something to chew on. Thinking about all these automation and tracking ideas from Damien, which one specific thing, if you implemented it right now, do you think would give your solopreneur business the biggest boost?
Yeah, where's the biggest friction point for you? Start there. Pick the solution that offers the most immediate relief or clarity.
I'm back. I hope you found this AI-generated audio overview valuable, including pointers to evergreen episodes that you might have missed or want a refresh on. And remember that you can get a copy of the profit forecasting template by visiting macpreneur.com/freebie and the number 95. Next time, I will rebroadcast episode 96, during which Susanna Ray, Roland Hüscher, and Anna Lundberg share the tools that they use to streamline the finance side of their solopreneur businesses. So make sure to subscribe or follow this podcast to get it automatically next week. And until next time, I'm Damien, wishing you a great day.
Thank you for watching the Macpreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave a comment and share it with a friend right now.